Leland Vitter is still standing by for us, and he's on the ground in Baltimore where all this has been happening. Leland, what was happening with the driver of that car that was racing through the fire where you just were?
Well, there were a couple of cars racing through the fire, and those cars aren't going to race anywhere anytime soon because they crushed them. It's hard to understand what anyone would be thinking by doing that. It's not in protest of something. It's not in any way advancing a cause. It's just totally destructive, and clearly you saw the video, which is probably playing of that happening, and now you see the car that's in the center of the street. It's actually interesting. There was a car in the center of the street a couple of hours ago, and now we have two more cars. I've got a fellow walking here who's been yelling 16 days, meaning no answers since the death of that young man that touched off all this, and it's really hard
Leland,
to say
let me ask you, why have they not, this is what, 8 days ago, the funeral took place today, why have they not at least given somebody a clue as to what happened to Freddie Gray? Because it's a mystery. Nobody knows anything.
That's an excellent question. That's the question everyone asks out here, and that's when you see the anger that's directed at the police, that's what people say to you, is that they are angry. This guy just came by and said the very same thing about him being angry. What's interesting is that the police haven't been willing in any way to come out and confront the rioters. At the same time, they haven't been willing to give the rioters any answers, which is an interesting dichotomy, that they're holding back and watching these stores be looted, but at the same time are in no way talking to anyone. I want to bring in a gentleman here who's been with us all night. You've been watching this. You've got a shirt on that says United Theological Cemetery, and we're going to keep our shot here on what's going on. The police have their helicopter up above, but I just want to you're from Baltimore, right, sir?
Well, I'm a United Methodist minister, and I pastor in D.C. and Beltsville, but a lot of our
So you're a pastor,
you
come up here.
I've come to stand with our colleagues.
When you watch this, what are you thinking?
It's very sad, of course. It's a sad commentary on today's national climate and local climate as well. So,
do you think the police are doing the right thing by letting this go on?
I'm not sure about that. I guess everybody's trying to make the best choices they can. You know, I think.
Well, that can't be a good choice. What we're watching.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. I mean, you're putting lives in danger. It's just a bunch of mayhem. So, you know, it's a very dangerous situation for everybody.
As you've talked to the folks on the street here, do you get the sense that this is about Freddie Gray, or this is just an excuse to loot and riot?
I think you always have people that are willing to exploit any kind of newsworthy event. I think you do have some of those. I think you also have people who are very sincere about seeing resolution and social change. I think you got a combination of things. I think you got poverty issues and stuff like that.
Well, and clearly, Sean, we're in a part of the area that's got a lot of poverty for sure. One of the interesting things that you do hear, folks who are out here, everyone that I've talked to who's been out here, peaceful and otherwise, obviously most of the folks that we've been seeing are not peaceful, have talked about how angry they are at the police and how angry they are about Freddie Gray. What's interesting is that the same police aren't really doing anything to protect all of these folks who are here. So if this police department is so violent and so out of control, you would wonder why they aren't responding in that way, whether there's been an order given or not. I don't know. The situation on the ground, the battle lines remain largely the same in terms of the fires and the looting down here, and the police line just up there, probably about 50 to 75 yards, and there's hundreds of riot officers, a SWAT vehicle, all that kind of stuff, and they're not moving down to stop what we just saw, including those fellows with those cars crashing into each other. And I think we now actually even have another car down there on fire as well, coming up here on about 11 o'clock in Baltimore, and this city is certainly on the verge of burning tonight.